steps into a hole in the wall that opened up as Sapphire hit a secret panel. As shouts of pursuit from local guards is heard in the square behind after discovering the scene of several dead bodies strewn out across the plaza. They are in pursuit looking for the murderers. As the group runs in, Professor Janice turns to Lucas and smiles, says, "Come on, let's lead them astray." Firing his grappling bracer up to the second story of a nearby building, he jumps up and Lucas soon follows. Sapphire ushers you two in to the dark and hits another switch at the bottom. You can hear sounds of guards shouting, spells going off as Professor Janice and Lucas set off to lead the guards astray. That's where we find ourselves at the start of this session. Last session, we ended off in this spot, slightly different due to some character player constraints. But the group was sent to Desland, a rival nation, into the capital of Desland, then the rival nation here, in the efforts to meet up with a local rebel force and a contact that they knew as Sapphire. So they're in Marseilles, which is the capital, and they're there to meet the Sapphire. They have a little detour to go to talk to one of Flitt's contacts over at Hasud's Herbs and get a little bit of more info to how to find Sapphire a little easier. But upon arriving in the square, others seem to have similar information, and they find a group looking to assassinate their contact. They step in, are able to save Sapphire before he takes too much damage. However, the guards start shouting as people start reporting that there's a fight going on in a local market square area, and they start coming after you guys. Being part of the rebel forces, Sapphire does not wish to be found and leads you guys into a nearby alley and then down into the darkness of a secret kind of passageway that he's able to have materialize out of the wall from hitting a special hidden button. And that was where we ended off. So, joining me today, let's get it so we can actually see people. If it works, I'm hitting the button. Let's do it that way. There we go. Joining me today, I have Paul playing Salmicho and David playing Flit. Welcome, guys. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to anyone who's deciding to view currently Heroic Studios, hopefully changing the name as soon as I think of the one I really want. And into my Shattered Lands setting with a bunch of islands floating, a mile or more above mist that has overtaken the ground below due to 300 years ago an invasion from a group of demons and devils and all sorts of fun stuff. So here we are. Find yourselves in a dark area at the bottom of a set of stairs that Sapphire has led you down. You can hear guards shouting as they run past, and the sounds of, like I said, spells going off, things that your other two members of your party were doing in order to lead them astray, lead them off. As the door's shouting, you remember hearing Lucas say, "We'll meet you at that shop," and then heads off to follow the professor as well. Sapphire, which is hard to see due to the darkness, even if you have dark vision, it's gets pitch in a moment. Sapphire pulls off the large brim hat that he's wearing and tosses it in the air, speaking a word in Elvish. The blue stone upon his helmet, or his hat that he was wearing, starts to glow and float. The hat starts to float ahead of you guys, illuminating the area in a dim blue light. Well, we got away from them. Who are you guys, anyways?
Hi, I'm Flit.
Oh, hello there.
The name's Solnitro, and that's Carbona over there. Pointing to the construct.
Pleasure to meet both of you.
You're bleeding.
Yeah, just a little. I've had worse, surprisingly. One wouldn't have expected. Was it like 6 of those guys?
Something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't pleasant. I'll say that. But yeah, again, nice to meet you guys. But what were you doing there?
Well, you need some healing? I can help with that.
Maybe just something light. Maybe take some of the edge off.
Oh, I just realized we didn't. Since we're continuing, I only have one spell left, but it's okay. Yes, let me pull up my spells. There we go. Oh, actually, I think Carbona can heal. I think. Let me double check that.
Is he blood splattered? Completely.
I mean, he's got some blood, but he's not at death's door. He seemed to move fine out of the square, so it's okay. It's okay. He hold on to it in case we need it. You never know. These guards get pretty tenacious. Even in these tunnels, I don't think it's always safe.
So who were they?
I'd like to know, but I'd venture to say they're a group of assassins looking to get me, or a bounty hunter looking to collect on a bounty. Hard to say. And you guys, what brought you here? What brings you in to help me out at the very opportune time?
Well, actually, we came looking for you.
Came looking for me.
I'm trying to remember now. So we were sent to. Who sent us to find?
You're sent by Duran Ironbreaker, the local cell leader of your Ivory Order chapter.
And is Sapphire part of our organization?
No. So yeah, it's been a few weeks.
Yeah.
Last time we played different characters in a different situation. So yeah, Sapphire is part of the local, like, kind of a rebel force, uprising force that was contacting your order and your kingdom, kind of looking for support. Valermont's the rival nation, so they're kind of looking for support in efforts to counteract the or overthrow the government of Desland, where they currently are.
So, trying to figure, we're part of a secretish organization. How much are we allowed to say?
Well, you were sent to contact him for your order, so you would probably be cleared enough to, tell him that you're from the Ivory Order. They specifically, like, through their channels, went to contact members of the Ivory Order.
So I guess we'll start there. We're part of the Ivory Order. Sure, you've heard of us.
Oh. Yes, I have. Well, good. I was there hoping to meet you guys when I was so rudely interrupted. Well, it's okay. We all got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah. It's a fun gig.
Sure. Yeah. Anyways, Perfect. You guys are here. Yeah, I am. I guess, yeah, Sapphire is what you guys know me as, but I am Darren. Darren's what they call me here when I'm using real names. And I'll reach out and shake both your hands.
Hi, Darren.
Oh, hi, Flit. Let's go. We're not too far. Actually, I was supposed to meet up with my boss here, so we're not too far from that. Just down a few corridors here.
Who's your boss?
Jezik. She's the head of this rebellion, I guess is what we call it. Resistance? I don't know. We get called a lot of things. Half of them are not nearly close to being the truth.
Government rearranger.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably a good one. A repurposing of the current establishment. So, and he kind of like walks a little bit down the hall, and it opens up into not a huge room, but a decent sized room, probably, I don't know, like 30 by 60. There's just a couple of large pillars down the middle. And you can see, like, in the middle of the tile, there's a, like, the floor is like this tile, like large sections, but in the middle there's like a mosaic, and it looks like a lantern with like rays of light coming out of it. But it's been like cracked and chipped in different spots. There's bits of tile that are missing. Obviously, this is a fairly old kind of structure. And you can see there's doors that lead off in the other three directions. Like, so you came in from the stairwell, and there's doors that lead off to your left, your right, straight ahead of you as you enter.
Are we walking across the floor, or are we kind of?
Yeah, he's kind of leading you straight on. So, like, walking straight past these pillars towards the door opposite your entryway.
Okay, as we do, Flit begins to avoid the cracks in the floor and begins making a game of it as they go across.
All right.
Kind of skipping the whole time.
All right. And he doesn't pay a lot of attention. His hat is floating like ahead of him to provide light and everything. Just this kind of dark blue light, just enough to like make it easily visible. There's here and there's like bits of rubble, from the walls, from the ceiling, that are just kind of fallen. It's obviously, this is not like a constantly in use location. So he leads you through the entryway, which is like, there was a door there, but it's now kind of rotted and off its hinges. So it was like pushed and leaned up against the wall, still partially on the hinges, but obviously not really functional as a door. And leads you in. There's like a T intersection there, and doors again to the right and to the left. The one towards the right is shut, and the one to the left is open. And he takes the left turn and starts walking through again another door it used to be a door there and is now like lying on the ground, kind of shattered and crumbled, having rotted away beyond use. Leads you in. So you walk in this room and the light starts to illuminate. You see two long tables, again, not in the best use. They each have that similar like lantern with the rays of light coming off of it set in the table, like carved into the center of the table. On the walls are bookshelves lining all the sides. However, there's no books currently in there. There's a few pieces of loose paper here and there, but it's not used. there's spots on the wall where there are like the iron rings where like a torch would have been hung or kept if they were being used. There's only one door as you enter, you can see to the right side, and he just casually walks over and opens up that door and leads down a long hallway, continuing on. At the end of the hallway, there's another door that's not in the best of condition, and this one is like kind of push closed, like it's there, like almost leaned into the doorway, and he takes it and kind of shifts it and pushes it off to the side and shoves it so it leans over on the wall on the other side. And he walks in the room, and this room is actually lit up. There are several torches that have been lit. There are 8 pillars running down, the 4 on either side of this room. It's a much larger room than the other ones you've crossed. Let's see, probably about 40 feet wide and about 80 feet long. And there are a couple torches, like as you walk in the door to the right area, there are just a couple of little torches there. But as you look to the left, there is there's a table, a long table there that actually has one of the legs and one of the ends has been broken off, but has now been propped up with various blocks of like almost looks like cinder blocks or bricks that have broken off, and they've repurposed to keep this table up and steady. There are a few chairs. There's like 6 chairs. There's 3 on either side. Sitting in the middle, on the opposite side of the table, there is a blonde lady there with a scar across her left eye, and she's sitting down in like kind of brown, like leather armor, a cloak that's thrown back and hanging loose, just a very like plain, like gray cloak, nondescript. Behind her stands a fairly heavily armored man with just a gray tabard over it, no livery or coat of arms or anything on it. But he stands there. Does not have a helmet on right now. He's a older gentleman, kind of graying hair, graying beard that obviously has not been like kept up to like a fine standard. Like he trims it, but it's not like he goes to a barber and gets everything like nicely taken back. His hair is getting kind of long and scraggly. It looks fairly oily. And he has a shield strapped to his back and a large long sword at his waist. The lady looks over, seeing Sapphire. Ah, you've arrived. Come, join us. And he'll look to you two and gesture for you to come along and say, I found my contacts, but it was not as smooth as we would have liked.
There was pointy, stabby things. We had to deal with them.
Oh, well, good. It's good you're keeping my one of my top lieutenants safe. We're fortunate that you arrived when you did.
Hi, I'm Flit.
Hi, I'm Jezik Marsh.
Name's Sal Neutral.
Pleasure to meet you.
That's Carbone, but he doesn't talk.
What a very interesting creature that is. Just like kind of stares at it for a second and looks back at you. And as she looks back at you, you can see her eye, where an eye would have been, is now just like a blue stone, like a gemstone. You can kind of see a flicker off the light that's shining off from the torches. And kind of as he's walking towards the table, Darren will grab the hat out of the air and kind of flurl it around and put it on his head and go slump into one of the 3 chairs, the one furthest away from the door that you guys entered. Kind of slump into it. Just like, oh. he sees a stone pitcher that's sitting on the table and several cups, and he grabs a cup, pours from the pitcher a clear liquid, and starts like just chugging it down. Well, Jezik, I don't know how they came across us, or me, I suppose, but I got lucky. These two here, they're from the Ivory Order, the ones that we were hoping to get in contact with. She'll look over at you two. Ah, good. So glad it wasn't his. So glad him risking his life was not in vain. So, what tidings from Valermont?
So yeah, I relay. Actually, I'm gonna produce one of my produce an item. It's a the shape of a raven, a mechanical raven, and I think it has to be. Actually, let me double check how long it is. Oh, never mind. It's only 6 seconds. Never mind. I'll. I was basically I could have something. I can have some little items, but it's 6 seconds long of a recording, basically.
Oh, okay.
But
Yep, that's short.
yeah, that's too short. Never mind. So yeah, I recount what information we were given and what stuff like that. What our boss said, what he sent us with.
Well, let me tell you why we were trying to get a hold of you guys. I don't know if you're fully aware of what is going on here in Desland, but there's been an issue with the current regime. Years ago, the king died. His son, being young, was, of course, heir, but the prince sat there and had a regent. The regent of this land now was his uncle, Duke Kelvis Chevalier. And he was fine. He ruled fine, and everything's been great up until a few years ago. As the son approaching his majority time, apparently it took more liberties in his power and his command, harsher and harsher treatment of the civilians, confiscation of land that was not rightfully the throne's, taking funds, taking serfs, taking. And eventually, some of us couldn't take it anymore. So we've formed a little group. I took what was left of my family's holdings, and I've taken on a group to help me with this situation. We're a small group, but we're gaining steam. The more and more people are pushed down by this new regime, the more people join us. And hopefully we'll have enough soon to end this tyranny.
Yes, when the power is in such a small number and it doesn't change. The power doesn't change often. It gets a little stagnant, and they get a little. I think greed starts to take over. Back where I'm from, we have the council that rules, and they're always changing it. It's not blood. Just because you're blood related doesn't mean you gain a seat. It's more of a guild thing. So there is some, but they do keep it a lot more civil, I guess. A lot more for the people.
I don't know if our people, or at least the nobles of the land, would take to that, but sounds nice. At least after all this. I don't know. We've requested audiences. We've tried the normal channels, and we're told by the Duke that this is the prince's decisions and that he stands by his prince. And I don't know. We've got to do something. And I thought the idea was brought up that we should contact Valermont. I mean, we are, of course, ancestral sort of enemies, but who better to help us? And along with these other issues, seems like our new regime wants to start a war with your country. So perhaps we can work to finish that, keep that from happening. So you were sent here for that, I assume, just to make contact and figure out what we can do to help each other. But do you have any ideas, any thoughts, anything? Sapphire, after a few moments, would lean forward. Chezik, I heard in the market, there was a ship. One of Valermont's merchant marines was taken the other day in the prince's name. So things are going to escalate more, too.
So you want us to get somebody back for you guys?
Well, she looks over at you. That ship belongs to you guys, but that wouldn't be a bad thing. If we could get them free, maybe they'd give us some information, see what's going on in there, and maybe be an act of good faith for our side to win over those on your side, to send us some aid and perhaps help us bring down whatever's going on up there at the capital.
Flit looks over at Sal.
If you guys need to discuss, you may, of course.
Point me in the right direction. I'll solve the problem. That's about it. So I think getting the ship might be a good idea.
What Sal said.
All right. I like that style. A man of action. Trying to work my light. Sorry. Got it on dark and I can't see anything now. Well, yes, Darren, I think maybe these two, or maybe they're friends, if they had some extra backup, maybe they can go and assist the sailors of their nation get free and maybe join us down here at some point. Right about this time, you start hearing sounds of dogs barking, like in the distance, but not like up above it in the distance. Like it sounds like it's reverberating off stones, and sounds like it's getting closer. The man behind her will reach down and put his hand on her shoulder and say, "My lady, it is time for us to go." And she stands up hastily and looks at you guys. I'm Sorry, but looks like they're closing in, and it's probably best if we're not all together at the same time. She kind of salutes and then heads off down down the tunnel. Like that behind her, there's a doorway behind her, and she heads off that way. Shortly, like as she walks out, Sapphire will get up and say, "Come on, guys. I think it's time for us to go too." And he starts heading in the other direction.
Oh, quickly follow.
All right. As you are making your way across this kind of like long hallway, you see the glint of yellow eyes like in the doorway across the way. And then shortly through the door that you guys came in, two more sets of eyes appear behind you guys. And the growling sound, and you can make out the fangs in the dim light of what looks like large hounds that are there. And they're barking and snarling.
Doggies!
I flip like on a headpiece. I have a little, we'll say a little box with a flap. I flip it open, and a bright light 5 feet, and then dim light for an extra 5. Usually I use it for working, but a little bit of extra light doesn't hurt right now. I get a better look at what's there.
Yeah, there's in front of you in the doorway, there's one large hound. Behind you are two similarly sized hounds. They both have these big, like spiked collars on them, with like these very like kind of like purple, like dog collars with the spikes coming out of them, and they're like standing, haunches up, snarling at you. And the Darren, I keep wanting to say Sapphire, I'm trying to switch the usage now. Darren reaches down and grabs at the long sword at his waist and starts pulling it out. These are the guards' dogs. And as he's pulling it out, the dogs start to leap forward. So let's go ahead and roll initiative.
Oh, right, dice. That's a good idea.
Yeah, you know.
One game I play is online. Another one is like the dice rollers online. Another one need the dice. And I keep forgetting.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, if I were gonna do, I don't know. I guess I just trust people. Like, if you're gonna fudge a roll, then you're missing the point of the game. So I've tried to do like run roll 20 games, and I get this urge to like make all the maps and put all these things up there, but it just takes so much time. Whereas here, like, I do a lot of work, but I can do it like from anywhere, and I can throw it all together at the last second.
Also, you can show pictures on here too. So
yeah, that's kind of like one thing I like. And then if I used a separate program for like a dice roller or something like that, again, I trust people. But then like you have people looking at different screens and like getting distracted. As it is, like I have my notes on the screen, so like I'm looking off camera for a second to like check my notes to pull up the names that I was looking for.
So I rolled a natural 20.
Nice.
So 23 total.
Okay. Cool.
I got 9, and of course I forgot to double check if I rolled separate initiative.
I would just do them at the same,
Yeah.
just for ease of use. Otherwise, you got to track,
Oh, shares my initiative. It goes right after me.
Okay, perfect. That makes it easy.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah.
I know they improved the companion rules for the artificer's companions better than some of the other companion stuff. So it's good.
Awesome. So, question.
Yeah.
Is one dog on one side and two dogs on the other side?
Yeah, pretty much. So like there's a couple columns in front of you and a doorway like straight center. Um, and there's a couple, I mean, there's three sets of columns behind you, but behind you there's like two columns about 10 feet back. And just behind those, like in the middle of the room, there are two hounds that are sitting there, coming in from behind.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. I need a moment because I have my son here and he's not allowed to be on the camera.
Yes.
He's running late. She was supposed to be home. So if you guys want to take a break, let's go ahead and I know it's early. We'll do one now and maybe we can do another one later if we need to. So I can deal with this.
Yeah, no problem.
So thank you, everyone, and we'll be right back.
Ta-da!
Man, nothing goes right some days.
True that.
Oh man.
At least you didn't have God. The very last game with Jeremy. I don't know if you saw it or not.
Not yet. I have them like saved to go back and watch all those, but I
We
haven't gotten around to it yet.
we had the worst time with the whole streaming crap, dude. Like we first started out with Zoom, and apparently that didn't work. So we switched to StreamYard, and for the most part it worked. But he was robotic throughout the entire game.
Mm.
I mean, it was just like, oh, as far as it was like, you're just like,
Oh, it's so brutal. And
I know, and it was just like, oh, so, and I don't know, and I guess there's no way around that, really.
Yeah, I mean the robot's usually something to do with bandwidth, but that can be for so many things. It can be like his equipment, it could be weather, like somewhere along the path or whatever. It can be just high usage in the area.
Mm-hmm. I blame AT&T.
Yeah, right. Might as well.
But yeah, it was a really good game. I enjoyed it. I made a totally different character than I normally play, and he was one of those characters that if we would have had a couple more game sessions, I would have gotten more comfortable playing him.
Oh yeah,
one of those type characters. But it worked. I mean, I loved the whole setting and stuff like that, and we used Matt's new revised. I don't know what you call it. I mean, it's not Star Wars. He's calling it something else. But
yeah, I mean, because he can't, like him changing it, can't.
Yeah.
Star Wars, but it was using the old Star Wars system that he grew up with, the D6 system, and then
modified it and streamlined it. I mean, it worked for the most part. There was some stuff, but I mean, the cool thing is you had enough background stuff that you could just look at the old books and go, oh, hey, can I use?
Let's see if I can adjust this. There we go. Less of my.
Oh, these glasses are horrible. That's why I wear the dark glasses, because these are completely scratched up to the point that my eyes focus on the scratch parts. So, but wearing dark glasses suck.
Get away without them for these games, but it's just blurry enough. Like just blurry enough that I can't read easily from like being back here, but then I get all the reflections from the lights off of them and everything. It's like,
that's where I was at. I was just like looking, because I've got two monitors and I've got my character sheet and OBS on one monitor and y'all on my main screen, and I'm looking over at my character sheet going,
what, 2 screens? I got 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
I need to. I got
high roll too.
Yeah, my eyes are worse off. That's why I need to use the phone for my character sheet.
I just love the phone for the character sheet because it stays. Like I use it, like I can take away the hit points, and next week it'll still be there when I go back to it. So
yeah,
I rarely. My big problem with I get addicted to stuff a lot. So that's why I don't use my phone for Facebook. I don't use my phone for anything, because I'll be just constantly, So, what'd you say? So,
it's a pretty common issue. Yeah, I do that too, unfortunately.
Just text me. So,
all right. I think I got all the dice I need. All right. Are we ready?
I think so.
So we have, let me type in the order. We have
I'm 23. I was like, I rolled a natural 20. Damn it. Oh shit. Oh, okay. I see how it works.
Yeah, just that way it's.
I was gonna say you can't put it all in one.
I don't know. Can you do a shift return? Oh, you can, but
Oh, good.
let's see if I can copy and paste for future. Yeah, there we go.
But
All right. So yeah, Flit, you see the hounds start to like tense and launch forward as Darren reaches for his blade.
I quickly grab. Okay. I quickly grab a pouch and reach in it and just pull out a bunch of ball bearings and throw them at the two dogs, roughly in the path of the two dogs.
Okay. Cool.
And I guess move action. I will activate Spidey Flit.
All right. So you're launch the grappling into the roof and start going up like about 20 feet or so that it goes. All right. Cool. So yeah, Flit launches up and brought up to the roof pretty quickly. Darren glances up and pulls out a sword and launches forward at the one ahead of him, the hound that's like in the doorway ahead of him in the direction he was heading. So he's going to his sword will lash out. Those are some awful rolls. One of them will strike true though, slashing into the hound, and it yelps, kind of like staggering back a little bit. And so he does two quick slashes with his long sword, and then he kicks. He kicks at the hound in front of him, and like sends it back sprawling, bleeding, kind of like whimpering, leaving that way open. The two hounds behind you that Flit had sent the ball bearings that start forward. One just kind of like leaps over the ball bearings, making it clear. The other one kind of staggers a little bit, slipping on the ball bearings, but soon gets his footing and starts forward. The one that leaped is going to leap and charge in, coming down upon Salnitro, since he's the only one who kind of stood his ground there so far, and is going to attempt to bite him. I believe a 19 will hit Sal. All right, so it like digs its canines in and starts to like tear into you. That's 5 for 7 points of damage. And the other one kind of staggers forward and tries to like rush up, but is only able to like kind of get up to you, as like it took so much time for it to like pick its way through the ball bearings that it's not able to attack Salnitro or Carbone. However, it is your turn.
Okay. So they're in melee range, so I can't pull out my gun. Well, actually, can I? No, I don't have point blank. I have long range. I don't get penalties. So, but what I'm going to do now first, I'm going to pull out the maul, which means I don't have the shield out. So I'm going to try to clumsily attack without a magic weapon, which is not my forte. 14 to hit. Does that hit? You're muted?
Yeah, 14 will hit.
Oh, good. And 7 on the dice. Okay. So you almost look like you've seen him fight before, Flit, but it's like he seems to almost not really be concentrating on the fight, and he's trying to do a few different things, and he just swings, like he picks up the hammer and just swings awkwardly, and but he manages to connect still. Bonus action. Carbone. What happened now? Where's...
You're still here.
Yeah, everything's
No.
working right now.
Everything's working.
That was it was the PDF. I was scrolling the wrong way. So Carbone, attack. So Carbone will attempt to... I guess he only has the one attack. So yeah, he'll bite the same guy. Oh. One quick thing. Sorry about that. It's been a few weeks since I played this.
It's been a hot minute, that's for sure.
Okay, what it actually is going to do before it attacks. I forgot to. I should have used it. I was supposed to use it before, so they didn't hit me. I keep forgetting he has a reaction to pounce on the target and impose disadvantage on the attack roll. But oh well. So he bites. Metal jaws clamping down. Natural 20.
Nice.
So jaws is clamped down. And how are we doing crits again?
Take max on the first die, roll another die, and add your modifier.
Okay, so 10 plus D8. So D8 plus 10. Crit fill on that die, so 11. Well, that's good because, I would have rolled really bad. So 11 points of damage as it just clamps right into the arm of the guy who attacked me.
Yeah, so Carbone dives down and bites into the shoulder of this hound that had attacked you, and clamps down, biting deep into his muscles, and the dog just kind of crumples and goes limp in Carbone's jaws. All right.
And is the other one next to Carbone?
Yeah, there's one more that's right there. They both came up towards you, so Carbone.
Okay, yeah. So it sort of gets into more. It gets a little more aggressive. Tries to get between me and the other one as best as it can. It's take up a defensive posture for that.
Okay. Flit, you're up.
Flit sees that her barbarians didn't work so well, and Sal is being viciously attacked. She tries to swing into place over one of these dogs, and times it just right where she unleashes the grapple and literally drops on the back of the dog with her short sword, trying to impale it from the back. What do I need to roll? Acrobatics or... Oh, you're muted.
So, sorry, my son's got stuff going on in the background, and I'm trying to keep it from being heard over here. So go ahead and do acrobatics to see how accurately you drop and gracefully start the attack.
17 plus 5.
Okay, yeah, so no problems there. You're coming down on target, and I'll go ahead and give you advantage on your attack roll.
Okay. Oh, sweet. First one was a 14. The second one was an 18.
Cool. Yeah.
Plus 5.
Easily land and drive your blade in.
And do I get sneak attack for that?
Yeah, because Carbone is right there, so is Sal. So And you had advantage. So there's all sorts of reasons you'd get it.
So 1d6. Oops.
Oh, so you heal the dog now that you drop your dice.
Yes. Okay, so that sucks. Okay, and my sneak attack is 2d6. Am I correct?
I believe so at level.
Yeah, 2. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Sure.
2d6. Oh crap. 12 plus. Okay. 15.
All right, yeah. And you just drive it down like right between the shoulder blades and must have severed something because the dog just goes limp in your grasp. As let's see, so Darren would then look back and see you guys having finished off the other two, glances down, and there's like this circular grate on the ground. It's much larger than a manhole, probably like size enough for like double the size of like a manhole area. And it's got like these metal grates, and you can kind of see down from the bit of torchlight there's some sort of water running underneath. And so he pulls that open, says, "Come on, let's go." And he'll gesture for you guys to head down.
Can I grab one of the collars?
Sure. Okay. Salnicho, what are you, Carboni?
So there's one left, or
No, Flit finished that one off. So the three that were there were killed. Darren goes and opens up like a large manhole, like it's probably like 5 feet
okay.
diameter manhole cover. Says, "Come on, let's go."
All right. Oh, I looked down. Was it a ladder?
There's no like ladder there, but there's like it's only about 10 feet down. There's like water that's running underneath this room.
Well, it doesn't say that there is a penalty, but it does say that the Iron Defender is a 4-legged creature. But I guess it doesn't mean that it can't climb down a ladder. It's not saying it can't.
Well, there's no ladder. It's just like
or climbing down. Yeah,
so it could just jump in if you want to, or whatever.
Yeah, so I guess Carbona will jump in and then first, and then I will follow down.
Okay. Yeah, Carboni like lands and splashes, and you can see like the water probably just goes up to like his forearm kind of spot, like a foot up or so. But then he's like sturdily on the ground, kind of looks up at you, and then like kind of rears up a little bit to give you like a closer distance to get down.
Yes, medium size. So yeah, I just drop down the 5 feet and then slide down Carbona's back, and I will pull out. What does it look like down here?
So it's a smallish area. It's like 10 feet wide, and down the middle where you guys landed, there's a stream of water that's running. The sides are rounded, and there's like little like maybe foot wide pathways on either side of this water. It's like looks like it was made for, someone needed to service whatever these pathways are for. And then the tunnel's kind of long, and it kind of, you can see that it meanders. Like it's not like a straight thing. It's like following whatever path that this water flow was supposed to be there for. It is like obviously man-made, or at least enhanced, because there are like bricks on the side of the wall that are laid in there. A few of them kind of fallen out here and there. There's some rubble that goes into the water, but almost looks like a big sewer system.
Right. I'll stay behind Carbone, and I'll pull out my my gun, my musket, and I'll stay behind. Yeah. Is Darren? I'm trying to remember. Is he more? He's a melee fighter with a sword.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Darren sees you both down. Right, Flit, you were grabbing the collar.
I was grabbing the collar and looking back at the barbarians, going, better luck next time. And runs to the sewer and basically leaps down, going, whee!
Carbone would still stay propped up at that point, make sure everyone is down, but Flit bypasses Carbone and just goes right into the water.
Were you going to say something there?
Flit looks up and looks at Darren. You going to shut that?
Yeah, obviously. And he climbs down and...
Oh, should we bring the bodies in with us?
Just Talons is fine. We're not going to come back this way anyways.
Just so that they're not seen right over this area. It might delay the search longer, but you know this place better than I do.
Well, you can kind of hear in the distance some barking. So it sounds like there's more hounds. And he glances at them and then glances down at you guys and go, I don't want to waste the time. And he'll kind of grab on to the overhanging part of the manhole cover and kind of fling himself down. And as he kind of yanks back on the cover and is able to he gets down on it, slows him down, and he kind of stands on Carbone's shoulder and fully pulls it into place so it slots back in.
He sees me holding out a crowbar. No? Okay. You don't need that.
It's fine.
Is there a locking mechanism?
No, I was trying to think whether there would possibly be one, but no, it's obviously designed for some access, for the people above to access this area if they needed to, or vent or whatever. But it doesn't seem like they were worried about the security of this location.
A better question is, can it be locked or jammed or something from this? And even if it's just a delay, something easy. Obviously, I don't want to take 10 minutes.
I mean, I'm open to suggestions. If you had something,
I
have lots of things.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Let's just see which one would be best suited. Thieves tools, tinker tools, gunsmith tools, leatherworking, Smith tools.
I don't have a PHB open, but what does mending do exactly? I mean, I know what it does, but
the mending cantrip, just minor repairs.
Because I was thinking, I could mend a certain portion of the thing where it welds stuff together, where it'd be harder to open.
Yeah, it would have had to have originally been that way for that to have done the desired effect. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's only it fixes a small crack basically, or tear or rip or whatever. On normal things. On Carbone, it heals them 2d6 hit points.
Awesome.
That's why I have it. If broken key, it'll fix a torn cloak, leaking water skin. As long as the break or tear is no longer larger than a foot in any dimension.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, question. Could I roll a random roll to see if Flint has maybe a lock on her? Because she has the... where's it at? One of her personality traits is that she hides scraps of food and trinkets away in many pockets.
Sure. Yeah, we can say that go ahead and roll and see if you have a lock.
Yep.
We'll say that there is like an area that could be locked if they so felt, like if you had the right things, or they so felt they needed to lock it.
Okay, so which dice? D20 or percentage or what?
Yeah, I mean, roll the D20.
Okay.
And we'll say the top 5 will mean you have a lock. So 15 or more.
15 through 20. Okay. Yeah. 15.
Nice. Okay, so you happen to have a lock on you. So yeah, you're able to.
I pull it out and give it to Sal. Will this help?
Sure. I was gonna start adding stuff, but okay, this saves some time. All right, go start scouting up ahead. I'll follow you.
Okay. I run forward. Kind of skipping through the water.
Sal, as you get up, are you getting up to put it on?
Yeah, I'll climb up Carbonate so I can get a better.
So Darren will have climbed down to make room for you, and as you're like getting up there, putting it on, you notice that there's like this black tendrils of smoke, kind of starting to wisp through the grate, the open parts of the grate.
Does that seem normal?
No.
Could I do some sort of investigation or history?
Yeah, you can roll. I'd say maybe a history or
Arcana?
history or arcana, probably.
Okay. Just name the 3 that I have trained. So.
Sorry. Yeah.
10.
You're not really sure what this is. It's something weird, but it does not look natural. And this smoke just continually kind of drifts down, wafting past you, kind of flowing over Carbone, and kind of starting to pool up in an area on the ground. And Darren's kind of backing away from it. A little suspiciously, like he's looking at it and his hand on his blade.
Okay, I try to, if I can quickly put the lock on and then back away. I hold my breath while I do it.
Okay. So you get the lock on and you climb down, and as you're like scrambling down Carbone, you see this mist forming up. And you see in the middle of the mist 2 yellow eyes appear. And just next to that, 2 more yellow eyes appear. On the other side, 2 more yellow eyes appear. And it starts to solidify, and it's this large 3-headed like dog that seems to just be made entirely out of mist or shadow or whatever this dark substance is that flowed over you. And I think let's go ahead and stick with our initiative track. It hasn't been long. So, Flit, you had been running down this sewer way.
Yeah, eventually, I get to a certain point and I stop, hopping and skipping and start being more cautious.
Mm.
So I'm going to start stealthing down the sewer.
Okay.
I can roll for you.
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 21.
Oh, okay, cool. So you're running ahead. Are you just focusing on being ahead at this point?
Kind of sneaking and creeping, watching out for things, traps, noises, ways out. All the good thieving stuff that you normally do.
Okay, perfect. So as you're doing that, probably not fully noticing because no sounds come out from behind, Darren draws his blade, and he's not 100% sure what's going on with this thing. But he draws his blade and he's gonna charge in at it, kind of like swiping at the mist there. So one just like goes wide. It seems like the shadow, the darkness, kind of shifts over to one side, and the blade just goes by. Then the next one goes in, and it seems like it should have hit, like should have like really dug in, but the shadow just kind of like separates a little bit and comes back together. I mean, it did impact, but it didn't seem like it did a lot, especially with that roll. And so Darren will kind of like dance backwards, trying to get away from this thing, like not sure exactly how to impact whatever this is. As Darren does, it shifts again. The shadow shifts again, and where there once was one big dog with 3 heads, now there's one dog standing there with another dog standing next to him, and a bit of the shadow dissipates and flows past everyone except for Flip, because she's further down, and reforms behind Darren in the area there. So then these dogs leap forward, attacking. So we're gonna go. Yeah, I think Carbone would probably be the closest to them. So 2 of them are going to reach in and attempt to bite at Carbone with these like jaws of pure darkness. We've got 14 to hit is my lower one. 14 to 15 to hit.
1 second here. Should put bookmarks. Okay. He is going to pounce on that one. You said 15, right?
Yeah, I got a 14 and a 15.
The 14 misses, and actually, he's not going to pounce on the 15. He's going to take the hit.
Okay. So he is going to take. 11 points of piercing damage and 7 points of necrotic damage as these fangs bite in and start to like pull at the metallic body of Carbone.
So you said 18?
18 total, yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that was a mistake, but Carbone looks falling apart, damaged right now.
Okay.
Like barely hanging on. The necrotic stuff seems to have done some damage too, and yeah, there's no resistance on that or anything.
Okay. I didn't think so, but I wasn't sure if he had
it's damage immunity is poison. Everything else is normal. There's some condition immunities, but yeah, it's only poison.
Okay. And the other one who formed on the other side of Darren will dive in, attempting to bite him. But Darren's able to kind of like dance back a little bit, putting his blade in between him, and the hound kind of slinks back a bit to avoid it. Salnitro, it is your turn.
Okay. Are they in melee range of me, or?
I think you are just outside of it, because I believe the way I kind of envision it is that Carbone was here, you landed here, Darren ended up on the other side of you, and then there's 2 hounds in front of Carbone and 1 on Darren right now.
Okay. First action, I'm going to move into a better defensive position behind Carbone and draw my musket. And I am going to cast Mending, which does the special thing of actually healing. 7 points. Still injured, but a lot better, as you see. I pull out my musket in one hand, and I pull out a hammer with my other hand, and I start hammering Carbone, hammering in all the loose plates and making sure everything is as smooth as possible. And still, Carbone is still severely damaged, but looks a little better now. I'll say, Carbone, initiate self-repair. And as Carbone's action, he's going to use one of his repairs per day, and let's see, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, another 15, so 15, well, up to full.
Okay, cool.
So Carbone, it looks like the plates sort of bend themselves back into a proper position, and some of any tears in it just start to I guess it was necrotic. So yeah, some of the holes were reformed, and some of the decaying on it just seems to almost brush off like the wind blew it off or something.
Yeah, so like in areas where the teeth had left their mark, there were these streaks of rust starting to forming out off of Carbone's body. But as he repairs and fully kind of gets back to his normal self, you can kind of just see like these drifts of dust from the rust just flinking off and falling to the ground. At this point, you have heard the scuffle. You heard Carbone's metal first getting dented in and torn into. Then now, as it kind of makes this kind of popping and creaking sound as it gets itself back into full position. And so you're able to see back behind you, and between you and the group, there's one hound that's right in front of Darren, kind of like snarling at him and growling.
Quickly turn around. Bad puppies. Supposed to make her snarl. How far away am I?
I mean, you're kind of stealthing forward, so I'd say you're probably within like a 30-foot move or so to get back to him.
Oh, okay.
If you desired. Kind of leave that up to how far you thought you would have moved ahead before.
Yeah, okay. Well, I can move. I'll move about halfway. And during that halfway mark, I'll pull out one of my daggers and throw it at the doggy in front of Sal.
Okay. So
that's going to be a no.
Okay.
8.
Yeah, no. It just kind of like flies over, and where it probably would have hit, but then the area just kind of like shifts and shimmers and makes room for the dagger to fly right through where like the hound's head was.
Kind of cocked my head, curious. Weird doggy.
Darren will kind of like crack his neck and flex a little bit and turn on the one that formed up behind him, and he's going to attempt to lash out at him, his blade flashing. 2 strikes landing into this one, doing a decent chunk of damage. Like, it seems like the shadow dissipates a little bit and reforms, but the dog is definitely like smaller now, it seems like. Oh yeah, it's the hound's turn. All right, one of the dogs in front of Carbone like disperses into mist and floats down and reforms next to the one on Darren. And those two are going to attack together on Darren. One of them will sink its teeth in, biting down and kind of yanking and pulling at it. Darren kind of screams out in like a little bit of pain and surprise as these two came so quickly at him, and then staggers back a little bit, clutching his side where there's like this like kind of gnarly gash into the side of him with like little black areas like spreading out from the puncture wounds where the blood's starting to leak down. The other one is going to attempt to attack Salnitra's dog, Carbone, or whatever it's called. It's only a 13 to hit, though. I think that misses.
Yeah, that misses.
Okay, so this one tries to jump in. Was a little surprised by Carbone being like back, looking like nothing had happened to it before, and misses its mark as Carbone kind of like moves a little out of the way to avoid it. And it would be your turn now, Salnitro.
Okay. So I point the musket right at it, and I will flip up a sight. Just aesthetics. I'm going to be using sharpshooter, and let's see if it hits. 14.
14 just misses.
Oh, fight! Didn't do sharpshooter. Carbone attack, and went to. And 16 should hit now.
Mm-hmm.
And he just clamps on 9 points of piercing damage.
Okay. Is Carbone considered a magical in purposes for his attacks?
I don't think he is magical. Yeah, no,
Okay.
not magical. At least not that I know of. That I can see.
No problem. Yeah, his teeth clamp in, and as it pulls back, there's a little bit of smoke, and some of it, or whatever this black stuff is, and it, some of it goes up into the air, like disappearing, and some of it comes back and reforms into the dog. As it does not seem like it took as much damage as it would have liked. You would have liked it too. All right. Flit, it is your turn.
Yeah.
There's now two hounds.
David, what weapon does Flit use?
2 daggers and a short sword.
I tell you, grab my dagger, and you see the only on the waist that you've seen this dagger that I can't remember if Flit was there when.
Not yet. Flit came shortly after. I mean, you may have seen it in the travels, but
that's what I mean. Yeah, I don't know if he saw me receive it, but yeah, or she. I say, Flit, take my dagger. It's probably better suited for you right now.
Gotcha. As I run by him, I snag it out of his sheath and slice at the dog.
okay.
Natural 20.
Nice. Which one are you going after?
The one in front of Sal, basically.
So there, how the order right now is, there are 2 hounds, and I'm assuming you use like your disengage action, bonus action, or whatever to get by. There are 2 hounds between you and Darren, then Sal, then Carbone, then another hound on the other side.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, you would have had to disengage to get to me to grab the dagger.
Okay.
So you're welcome to move amongst there however you want, but then
Okay.
like there's essentially one character in between Sal and the hounds. Either way you cut it.
Actually, could I run up along the wall?
Yeah,
And
you've got that
completely-
special thing.
Yeah, with my special ability,
Yeah, sure.
and to totally avoid the disengage.
Yeah, I think you can manage that. Yeah, you're able to kind of like run up the wall just out of reach of the hounds, and able to like kind of come back down and grab the dagger. And so just whichever way you want it to go. There's one near Darren that seems like it's taken more damage than the other two, but either way.
I'm slicing the one right at Sal. So.
Okay.
Okay, so natural 20. So which is, if I remember, and that was a dagger, right?
Yeah, it's a
Sneak
+1 dagger.
plus. Okay, so
There's a crimson blade, kind of like a kind of goldish pommel area, and like maroon wrappings around it.
okay, and I get my sneak attack too, right?
Yeah. So
It normally it's double dice, but it's I guess it's your rule if maximum sneak attack and then roll, or just double the sneak attack, or however.
for now, we'll go ahead and we'll go because you would normally double the sneak attack damage.
Yeah, sneak attack, smites, anything, all dice rolls.
So for now, we'll go ahead and say that you'll get max. So you get the 4 plus the max your sneak attack. So that's
12.
17 or no 16. Plus
Yeah.
you roll all of that you would normally roll and
Mhm.
add that. And then you add in the modifiers, so the +1 from the dagger plus whatever your ability modifiers.
Okay, so 16 right now,
Yep.
and it's 1d4, 2d6.
That first is a 1d4 that I wrote.
Yeah.
Holy motherfucker!
It's
Sorry.
okay. It's okay. This is I don't really plan on my things being
I don't know if you can get it or not, but
one of the 6s. 2 of the 6s.
Did you roll max damage? Only
Oh,
1 point.
One
one
shy.
point.
Jeez. All right, so it's 15 plus 1,
That's
6,
32.
32.
32
Plus
What's your dex?
Your dex mod.
plus 3
Okay.
for my dex mod, and +1 for that +1.
Yeah, so that's 35. Yeah, I already added the
Yeah.
so
Okay.
35.
So you strike in, and this blade like digs deep into this hound, and it slashes up. And as it kind of goes through, it almost seems like the shadow gets sucked into this blade as you slash across it, and that hound that was there is gone, leaving 2 on the other side on Darren.
I quickly.
Damn, maybe I should have been using that more often.
Nice dagger, Sal.
Um,
And my bonus action. I'm not engaged, am I?
no, not now. Like you came down and killed the one that was facing that hound.
Flit, I know what you're thinking, but I want that back.
Yes.
All right. Darren will see this and is a little bit more heartened as he sees the damage you guys were doing. He will pull off his hat and toss it in the air, and he speaks a different Elvish word. And this time, that blue light is this bright, radiant light that comes out, just illuminating like almost the whole tunnel here. And he will like kick at the nearest dog, just trying to like get it to back up. But it slinks back. But the 2 hounds that are there look like they slink a little bit more back, not happy with this light situation. But it is their turn, so they're gonna jump forward, trying to attack Darren. Oh, yeah. Even with the problem of the light, they both are able to bite in, digging deep into Darren here. Let's do this. And all right, yeah. Darren staggers back, like bleeding, and actually ends up like slumping back and falling into the water, like his back leaned up against the side railing as he kind of like is breathing very heavily, and his eyes look dazed, and his sword like falls out of his hand as they bite into him. All right. That was the dogs. Sal, I think you're next.
Now, are the dogs between me and Darren, or is he between me and the dogs?
He is kind of between you and the dogs, but he is currently looks incapacitated.
Oh, I will move up, and I will cast Cure Wounds using my last slot.
Okay.
7 points of healing. And yeah, I am now out of spells.
Okay.
And well, I have rituals. And Carbona defend. Basically, yeah, he's going to attack. I can think to defend Darren. So Carbona will run up and I'm going to assume a 10 doesn't hit.
No, yeah.
But Carbona's trying to get as close as he can. Like thematically, he's trying to get in between. He's trying to be the target and get ready to pounce if needed.
Okay. Yeah, so Darren kind of sputters a little bit as, he gains consciousness, like snaps him into focus and reality as this healing wave washes over him. Flit, it is your turn.
Flit immediately takes the dagger and goes, "Shiny time. Bye-bye, doggy," and slices at the dog.
Okay.
And doesn't do as great as she did last time.
It's hard to beat what she did last
I
time.
know, right? Holy crap. Only 12.
Okay. It finds purchase. Somehow this dagger is able to
Holy crap. Okay.
strike in and deal some damage. And some of that mist and smoke will kind of get sucked into the dagger, but there's still two hounds there, growling and looking angry.
Did I do damage?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Do I get also my sneak attack or did Sal move away or Brody move away?
Sorry, was it
Carbona's there.
Sorry, was it a 12 to hit, or was it?
Yeah. That's
Oh,
what I'm saying. I thought I missed.
I'm sorry. Yes, you missed. My brain's not working apparently.
I say if a 14 misses, then
I thought you kind of had the AC down, and then
Oh, no.
I thought you were saying 12 damage.
I rolled a 7.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So
Never mind.
No.
So you go to swipe in, and the mist kind of forms, separates a little bit and flows away from where your dagger would have struck.
as I see that bad doggy.
It growls, and
I growl back.
it opens up its mouth and breathes out this dark, black mist flowing out over all of you guys. Can I get dexterity saving throws from you guys. Let me see how Darren does. He's prone. Oh, he does pretty good though.
God damn it. 14.
Okay. And do you have evasion yet?
Ooh, I don't know. Maybe. Hold on, let me look. Let's see. Bonus. Special sneak attack. Sneak attack. Cunning action.
I don't think. I want to say it's level 6 for a rogue.
Oh, is it level 6? Okay, yeah, I don't see it.
Just double checking.
Yeah.
So the bonus is everyone passed their save. So that means you all take 11 points of damage as this necrotic force flows over everyone. And Darren slumps back, knocked out from the wave of this like noxious gas that filled this little area. The other hound is going to lurch forward and try to bite into Carbone. That would be a 14, which I believe misses, right?
Yeah, so it went past Carbone, went for me, and missed. Okay.
Did I say you? I thought I said it was going after Carbone.
Oh, you said me. So what did you roll then? Sorry.
14.
Oh, that's a miss. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, I thought you said 15 was. So, yeah. So it tried to bite at Carbone because it's the nearest thing there. But it will be your turn now.
All right. You know what? So I flipped the scope down, the little sight thing. I go, no, I'm just going to try to shoot. No fancy stuff. Uh, 21.
Okay, yeah, 21 will definitely hit.
Let's put it this way. It would have hit sharpshooter.
Yeah, it would have.
So I do. Yeah, that's the case. That's
worked.
Oh, yeah, I know. If you call it, it won't work.
And are these magical?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's what I thought.
I rolled 1 on the dice. 6 points of damage.
All right.
This is magical piercing. Carbone attack. Oh, 18 on the dice. That hits.
Yeah.
And 8 points on there, so 10 points of damage max.
All right.
Of non-magical biting damage.
Cool. Yeah, he bites in, and a bit of that smoke dissipates off of his teeth, but some of it finds its way back to the hound.
And yeah, Flit, finish it off.
Okay.
Yep, it would be your turn.
Big money, big money. No. 11.
Nope. That the dagger apparently is good for one good hit.
Yeah, one good hit. I want to also disengage.
Okay. No problem. Yeah. You going past him? You going back behind your party?
I'm gonna kind of run up the side of the wall and kind of go behind him.
Okay. Darren is on the ground unconscious, but he seems to be kind of holding himself in a state of not dying further. The dogs now go. Carbone is still right there, so they are actually both going to go and try to bite into Carbone. Oh, but they both terribly miss, as I didn't roll above a 6. So they both like bite in, but Carbone's kind of gotten their mettle now, has figured out their flow, and is able to kind of like dodge one and dance back from the other one, moving along enough just to stay out of their reach. Salnitro, it is your turn. They
All right.
definitely seem smaller than they did when you guys first started. Each little bit seems to be pulling away some of their essence.
Now, just trying to see. Oh, okay. I will. I will ask it to take the help action, Carbone, this time.
Okay.
It's not doing a lot of damage on its own, so takes the help action, and now I have advantage.
Sounds good.
Sharpshooter. I flip the reticle back up, and I am going to shoot this thing. Okay. I rolled a 5 and a 10. That means a 12, which means I missed again. Oh boy, that wasn't fun at all.
Bummer.
And yeah, we're done.
Flip, you're back up.
All right. She concentrates, swings at the hindquarters of the dog, rolls a possibility 16.
That will hit.
Yes. Now, since I'm behind the dog, do I also get sneak attack or no?
Yeah, because Carbone is still within
Okay.
melee range.
Okay. So it's 12. And it's a +1.
Yeah.
So 16 points of damage total.
All right. You see one of the remaining hounds as you slash into its hindquarters. The dagger kind of sucks in some of the essence, and that hound, like half of it seems to have been sucked into the dagger, and the other half just flows into the remaining hound that's there.
Interesting.
All right. Let me see how Darren's doing.
Oh, he fell down again, didn't he?
Yep.
Oh boy.
Yep. Darren's breathing pretty steadily at this point, though. His eyes shut, kind of went from a daze to like shut, but it still seems like he is still maintaining. The wound's not seeming to get any worse at this point. The hound now, because there's not more of them. It's not happy with Flit. So it is going to turn and attempt to bite a Flit. Ooh. Surprisingly, that would be a 20 to hit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, while it turns its back on Carbone pounces.
Okay.
Imposes disadvantage.
It already had disadvantage, unfortunately.
Oh, it did? Okay, then forget it.
Yeah. You probably wouldn't have known it, but yes.
Okay.
That part of the sunlight that was
Right.
coming from the hat is imposing disadvantage.
Wait, what's the disadvantage? Got a 20. Oh.
I rolled a 15 and 16.
Oh boy.
Nice.
Yeah, my armor class is 15. So.
That was somewhat fortunate for you, as 5 points of piercing damage come at you, along with 9 points of necrotic damage, as its teeth bite in, and that kind of like black rot, like as it bites into your leg, kind of starts to spread in the areas that are exposed.
How many are left?
Just
one?
Just one now. It seems there's one hound there.
I'm gonna do math.
Sounds nice. Yeah. So,
all right,
you're up.
After that bite, Flit does not look too well.
all right. Carbone, distract. Oh my!
Did you?
I rolled a 2 and a 9 on the dice. Okay, you know what? Sharpshooter. I'm gonna retrain that out. I don't know. I can't sharpshoot at all.
Yeah. I mean,
Just for that extra 10 damage, I might as well just hit the stupid thing.
yeah. In the future, maybe like when you have more pluses and bonuses, it will come into its own. But
But I thought advantage. I
Yeah.
should, on average, I know on average I should be getting a 12,
you're also
but
rolling.
and I know it's a 14, but still,
Yeah.
no, like on average I roll 12, but the advantage should push me over at least a +2.
Should.
Okay, all right, Flit. Sorry about this
All
thing.
right.
Go again. Maybe I should be giving you advantage.
Well,
Yeah.
that would be nice. Okay. She's pretty bad off. She's looking at her odds. Darren is completely out, unconscious. Carboni and Sal, how bad do they look?
I don't think Saul's been touched.
Oh no, I've been touched. Oh, I'm
the necrotic spray thing too.
I was hit before that, and again, yeah, we're both low, but I'm trying not to get hit. And Carbone shouldn't get hit again. But we'll see what happens.
Okay. Flit basically gathers her courage and knows that she should flee, but she does not. And swipes at this monstrosity of darkness. 15.
15 will do it. Yep. Just barely.
I rolled a 10. So I was just like, oh! Yeah, damage kind of sucks. 12 points of damage.
Okay. Yeah. A chunk of the body of this just comes off with the dagger as you slice through, being like sucked into the dagger. It's still there, but it is definitely like smaller. It started off as this like massive hound with 3 heads, and now it's like one smaller, like large Rottweiler dog. Yeah,
Flit, seeing it still alive, quickly disengages, runs along the wall, and gets away from this thing.
Okay. Let's check on Darren. Darren seems to like take a breath in. I mean, his eyes are still shut, but like, and it sounds like whatever damage or whatever is kind of like flatline. Like there's no longer any danger of him going into a deeper.
Okay. Flatline was probably not the right word.
It's true. It's true. I know. As soon as I said it, I meant like the curve flattened out. But yeah, it was definitely not the right way. Either way, he's stabilized.
You hear a beep.
Yeah. Beep. His hat's going offline only. It's out of range now. So Darren is able to stabilize. However, the remaining dog, seeing Flit run away, it turns back towards Carbone and is going to attack, and that would be an 18 to hit.
I just read Carbone can't use that when they get attacked, so that's doing the damage.
Okay. Ooh. Yeah. I don't think Carbone's happy. That is 20 points of damage. 9 of it piercing.
Oh, no, Carbone's at 0.
Okay.
Carbone is destroyed, essentially. Like, I can bring it back, but yeah, Carbone is gone.
Sal, you're up.
Shit.
Hit.
I gotta look at one thing. As much as I want to hit it, I want the defender in front of me. If it has died within the slower, you can use your smith to. I need a spell slot. So, yeah, if it died within the last hour, I can revive it. Okay. I have to. Never mind. Okay, so I am going to just shoot.
My rolling's been ridiculous. I rolled one short of max damage on that last one. So
Well, he only had 13. He doesn't have a lot of hit points. Okay. Because I said I wasn't sharpshooting, the dice roll came up 18. So plus 7. That better be a hit.
Yep. Oh yeah. You would have just made it if you sharpshoot.
Yeah, crit by.
But my dice.
Oh no, because it's only a -5. So yeah, you would have been fine.
Oh yeah, no. It's I still have a +2.
Yeah.
So that would have hit. I keep rolling low damage when I hit, so I only did 7 points of magical damage, and I'm staying right where I am.
Okay. Well, as your shot rings out, it sails right into the core of this beast, and as it strikes, it almost seems like the mist kind of follows the bullet as it pulls it through, and then the mist continues off and dissipates up and just kind of forms into disappears into the stone around, and it is no longer there.
What the crap was that? Are you okay?
I'm fine, but Carbone, I got some work to do there. But I check Darren.
Yeah. Give me a medicine check.
There's 16 on the dice, 17, of course. So you know what? I want to sharpshoot that medicine. 18. No, that didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can tell that Darren is breathing steadily and is in a stable condition, unconscious still, but in a stable condition.
All right. Well,
We need to get out of here.
he owes me a healing potion, and I give Darren a healing potion. Do you want me to roll or?
Yeah, you can roll 2d4 plus 2.
5. Only 6, but hey,
Is
okay.
Carbone completely destroyed?
Yeah. Since Carbone is essentially dead, I cannot heal him back to life. I need to.
Because I was going to say I could use mending on him,
Oh yeah, I have mending as well.
but it can't be.
If mending spell regains hit points, if it has died within the last hour, because it is dead, you can use Smith's tools and an action to revive it, provided you're within 5 feet of it, and you expend a spell slot of first level or higher. So basically, it's going to take me a lot longer to bring him back. I need a long rest.
Okay, so I'm going to cast. You'll have to help me because, like I said, I don't have a player's handbook out. How much does floating disc can hold?
Oh, Tensor's floating disc up to 500 pounds.
I'm casting that, and we can throw both bodies on top, I would assume.
Well, Darren's up now.
Yeah.
Because Darren's up now.
Is he? Oh, okay. I didn't know.
I give him a healing potion.
Okay. Well, then I don't cast it then.
Yeah.
Unless.
Well, Carbone.
Can you be carried, or should I?
It doesn't give me a weight for him.
Yeah, well, I'd say he's probably closer to the 300 pounds of a hunk of metal, but he's not solid all the way through. So
I'll cast it anyway.
Yeah, we'll see. You can put him on.
Yeah, it's just. Yeah, that's fine. I don't know. It doesn't give me a weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's medium sized. So
we'll call it about 300. You've got a lot of stuff on there, but
yeah, I'll definitely cast it.
Okay. So you're to form it underneath Carbone, lifting it up, and this hunk of metal is now deformed a little bit, but it's sitting on this floating disc. Darren will stagger up and feel around in the water and pull out his sword and slide it back into his sheath on his waist.
Did this creature have a collar or something after, or just dissipated and nothing was left?
it just dissipated, and there was nothing visible left.
The coast is clear up ahead. We need to get out of here quick.
Yeah. Do you guys have anywhere we could go? I'm not.
Flit, don't you have a friend here?
Yep, we can go back to him.
All right, I actually jump on Tensor's floating disc, and I start repairing him. Just yeah.
So
You start the process. Start the process. Darren will kind of like stagger a little bit, but he's able to, walk of his own accord, following you guys down this tunnel area. Flit, so you're leading through this kind of like sewer system, following this meandering of the path of this river here, and you see here and there are grates up above you from spot to spot. But
yeah, from time to time, I'm gonna pop up, kind of look around stealthily, if possible.
Yeah, I mean, they look. It looks like more of the similar rooms that like you were in before. If you want to give me perception.
A perception, okay. I can do that. By the way, if you're counting stealth, my stealth was 19.
Okay.
15. Okay, my perception. 18 for perception.
Okay. Several of the rooms you've passed seem to be fairly empty, but you do hear sounds of like now footsteps running through and the growls of dogs as they kind of like search through the buildings. At one point, you actually spot a guard, a man in like chain mail looking armor with purple like livery on. It's it's a purple tunic sort of thing over the armor with like slits so that his arms can move and flow pretty freely. And you can kind of see him. You saw this one like running through the halls, like obviously looking for something. He's got a torch in one hand and his sword in the other as he's kind of searching around. The only other issue you might think of as you're doing this is that your disc can only raise and lower mild elevations. I don't think it can go up 10.
No. Well, we're gonna stay below. I just want to pop up occasionally to figure out where the hell I'm at.
Okay.
And since I've been to the city before, I want to basically get to a point, I guess, that I can pop up in like a street area, maybe, or an alleyway. That way I can kind of see what the buildings look like and maybe get my bearings of where my contact, the herbalist shop basically is.
Mm-hmm. So the issue you're also having is that when you're popping up and you're still on a level that's below the main street level.
Oh, okay.
So there's like you're in a sewer that was below this cavern, which was then below a street level. So you can pop up from time to time, but all you're seeing are the guards that are searching this underground area.
Okay.
But as you kind of realize that you're not going to get much bearings from down here, you continue on down this pathway. And as you follow this river towards the end, you run into like the river kind of pools up as the room opens up into this one room, and it pools, stagnating a little bit, and then not sure exactly where it goes from there, but there's a lip that was built up so that the river doesn't flow into the room, and a couple steps that go down into the room, and you can see there's like stairs that start to lead up from this one room at the end of the tunnel.
Okay. Is there a spot that we can just hang out on a ledge?
Yeah, so the room itself, so like probably half of it is taken up by this pool of water. Then there's and that's still about a foot deep. Maybe it gets a little bit more, like 1.5 feet, 2 feet deep at some point. And then you're able to, there's a probably 6-inch like berm or like, sidewalk area or whatever you call it, like gutter area that like keeps the water from flowing into the room. And then from that, there are a couple of steps that lead down to the like base level in this room, and that is like a 15-foot kind of space. That then in the middle of that, there are stairs that are leading upwards from that room.
Okay. Look at the group. What do y'all want to do?
I can set up an alarm for the, it'll just take me about 10 minutes or so. Set it up. I can set up a few of them around us, and we can just try to
hunker down.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
well, you know this city better than us, Darren. What do you think?
I'd almost say I'd rather move on if those dogs are searching. I mean, the water will help, but eventually they may figure out that that someone may have gone into this stream and followed it. We're only going 2 directions. I heard plenty of feet up there.
What do you think, Flit? Should we move on?
We can. I'm
gonna need a good 8 hours to fix.
Yeah, let's see. My spell lasts for an hour, so we can move up to an hour.
Okay, then maybe we should keep moving a little further.
Oh, yeah.
What are passive perceptions, just out of curiosity here?
Mine is 13.
Okay. So you guys, as you're moving in, Darren is kind of like walking forward, like eager to get out of the water. And as he's kind of like making his way over towards this area, he kind of trips and stumbles, and he puts his hand out and grabs himself on this stone lip that's around this water. But then he like reaches down and feels around, and he grabs onto something and pulls up, and you see this like skeleton that is in a like there's rags that are now at the point where you can't really discern what it was or what it is. And Darren's like holding it by this like leather backpack, and just like kind of like holding it, like looking down at it. And he takes it and like tosses it off, like up and onto the side of the stone area there. And then he like looks around and starts feeling in the water, and he pulls out like there's like a rusted sword that's there, and kind of like tosses it off the side. We'll climb out, walk over.
The Flit immediately goes for the backpack.
Okay. Yeah. Despite sitting in water for what must have been a long time, the backpack doesn't really seem to be damaged or harmed. So it's a pretty standard looking leather backpack. But it looks sturdy and looks undamaged.
She takes it, opens it up.
You don't see anything inside at this point. Like it looks like it's empty when you open it up.
Okay. Put it with the rest of my stuff. Backpack.
Okay.
And look at the rusty sword. How big is it?
It's a long sword, so
she doesn't care.
Sturdy fighter, yeah, but it's old and it's rusty, and like, and when Darren picked it up, he kind of looked at it and almost with scorn, like tossed it. Like, this is
anything.
I'll look at that later.
Anything. Gives it to Sal. Is there anything else on the skeleton?
Let's do investigation.
Okay.
Sorry, Miss. What are you rolling for?
He's looking to see investigation to kind of see if there was anything else on this skeleton.
And for Flit, it doesn't matter what. It could be like rusty buttons. 14.
Okay. Yeah, so as you kind of like search, there's a spot where there would have been like some of the rags are bound together by this gold circular like pin that was like keeping the cloak on or whatever, and on it is that symbol that you've seen on the floor and on the wood planks, and it is like the lantern with like rays of light coming out from it. There's that, and then you also see there is a pouch that was attached to like this old belt that now looks like it's almost rotted away. The pouch is like barely held together. In fact, like as you pick it up, some of the coins spill out, and you see several like gold coins land and several like platinum coins land, dispersing around where this pouch is now kind of disintegrating.
Quickly pick those up.
Okay, perfect.
As I count them quickly.
Yeah, let's do this. I'm going to roll a die and see exactly how much. All right, you find 6 platinum pieces.
Okay.
12 gold pieces.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like there's any silver or bronze in there, like. But yeah.
I make the comment to Darren, holding up the gold circle pin. Looks like it was one of you guys.
That is not one of our symbols. We'll look at that later.
Oh, okay. I put it in a pocket. Should we go?
Yeah, let's move on. And he like kind of clamps at his like the wound that's like in his side and like starts staggering forward, heading up.
Kind of look at him. You're kind of squishy.
Yeah. And he reaches back and grabs his hat that's been just kind of like floating along behind him, and like puts it back on his head, and the light dims down to like a more soft blue glow, just barely giving enough light for everyone to see, and he starts like staggering up the stairs.
So, question. So, gotta go down spells. I got 3 slots, so I can basically cast floating disc 3 times, right?
Yeah.
So that will give us 3 hours of floating disc.
Okay.
So I guess we move that long before. I mean, I don't know it. How does it go up? Does it go upstairs?
Yeah. So it'd be fine if there's actually like, at least in my head, it would go fine on a normal elevation change. And I think the spell, I believe, says it moves up to the 5 feet to adjust elevation. So like if you climbed a 5-foot wall, it would kind of go up so it could follow you. But if you go up a 10-foot wall, it's not able to get that high.
Okay, so these stairs, are they?
Yeah, it's a pretty steady, so it'd be able to kind of like float. It just like floats along behind you as you walk forward. And it has enough room for the disc.
Okay. Look at Darren. Should we go up or should we continue down here?
There's only the stairs out of this room unless we want to head back. But no, up. I think we've gotten far enough away that hopefully we can find a way up onto the street. I know some of the symbols, so I'll keep an eye.
I'll go look real quick.
Okay. And he gestures and like kind of just like leans up against the wall. He's a couple stairs up already, but he seems fine to take a second to rest.
Okay. You may roll those 2 rolls again.
Just tell me which.
I was gonna roll stealth to kind of sneak and peek and look around, and then you said roll investigation, right?
Sure, you can do investigation.
That is a 10 on stealth.
Okay.
And uh, a 9 on investigation.
Okay. You go up and you don't see like any hazards or any dangers. You do see like so your stairs, the stairs you're at go up, and there's like a landing area, and there are 3 doors that go from there. You don't see like on direct investigation, it doesn't seem like anything's off or odd about them. These doors are actually shut. They still seem worn and old, but they haven't been like broken down or damaged like the ones previously were. Darren will kind of stagger forward and kind of get up to the top. In fact, though, when you move forward, the disc follows you. So
that's right. Never
Sal and Carbone are floating right behind you as you go up the check. And so Darren will stagger up behind everybody. You know, I'm not as familiar with that spell, but I thought the purpose was to go ahead and scout, not bring the whole party with you.
I forget.
Fair enough. Crazy magic stuff anyways.
It's fun.
He'll point at one of the doors. He says, that door there. And he kind of walks over to the wall and puts his finger along a spot. It's like, yeah, this door will lead up. And he kind of like pulls at it, and it's doesn't open right away. So he like kind of like leans back and kicks and winces a little bit as you know, a little bit of pain streaks through his body from his injuries. But the door like crumbles down, and you can see that there's like a small walkway and then the stairs that start leading up. Do you want to go first?
Yep.
Lead in.
I'll go.
And I guess I'm going second.
as Flit looks at him and says, "You're squishy anyway, so I'll go first."
All right.
I think I'm the least squishy of the group, but
yes.
Oh
my god.
Oh, well, let me just check. But I am the loudest because I just realized I got breastplate.
But you're on a floating disc though.
Breastplate doesn't have a negative to stealth.
Oh, that's right. So I'm not that loud.
Yeah.
But you're on a floating disc.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. So you guys head up. Darren will kind of get to the bottom stair, and then he like leans up against this part of the wall with his hand and pushes in, and this like doorway up in front of you kind of like it almost fractures, looks like it fractures down the middle and then splits apart to the side, and now there's an opening. You see there's kind of the dimmer light, because it was afternoon when you guys first went down, and it hasn't been a super long time, but it's been enough that the sun is starting to set a bit, and you're just getting some of the light that's like reflecting off the walls of this town, these like kind of tan walls, but you start hearing the sounds of the city, the smells of the street vendors down the way, you know, the smell of the dirt and mud from the streets, and you know, the various other lovely scents that come from a busy, populous city.
We're close.
So, where is it you guys thought we could go?
Oh, it's an awesome place. It's around the old 2-story building, around the cow pen, and you go up a few sections around some trees and whatnot, and it's right there.
You sure your friend already helped us? Sure you got another favor to ask, or it's not about favors? A contact, or is it a friend? That's a good... We'll find out.
Friend, contact, they're all the same.
Either way, I think that's where your other friends were going to meet us. So
true.
They said the shop. What sort of shop was it?
It's an herbal shop.
Herbal shop.
Yep. Hazud?
Oh,
Rashad?
Hasud. Yeah, Assad.
It varies depending on how you feel.
Uh, and he sits here and he like looks around, kind of looks, and then he goes, "All right, yeah, we're gonna go left here, and we're gonna go to the end of this alley. Well, no, not the end. There's a turn right before it gets to the street, one block over. We're gonna take that alley. We're gonna go down that one a couple blocks, and then we're gonna take a right, and Hassad should be across the way from there."
I look at Sal curiously. Isn't that what I just said?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
How long has it been? Do I need to cast it again?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's you were basically went from the fight at the end of the sewer and you walked down to the end of the sewer. Probably took you 20, 30 minutes. So it'll probably take you, another 20 to 30. So it'll just basically can get you to his shop.
Okay. On the way, do we pass any food vendors or any things of that nature?
At this point, his directions were taking him down alleys. And every now and then he kind of like pauses and will check. Like on the street, if you're looking out, there are like food vendors in different parts of the street, but he's taking you through alleyways. Almost seems like he's purposefully trying to avoid going through the main thoroughfare with a floating disc with a huge mechanical body on it.
As we pass by, I eyeball a melon, and I'm like, oh, and then I realize there's a floating disc that follows me, and I keep on going.
So he gets to a point, and he'll put a hand on your shoulder and kind of peek out, looking a couple different ways, and he waits, and then as a cart like goes by with like two oxen kind of like pulling it through the street, he goes, "Let's go now," and he starts hobbling as best he can across the street towards the entryway to Hassad's, and we'll kind of like push the door open and stumble in.
Hassad!
And as you guys walk in, you see in the back like this curtain, this area of like beads or whatever that separate his main part to the back, and he kind of pops out and goes, "Hello, my friends. So good to see you. Looks like you had some trouble, though."
Yes, ever so slightly.
"Well, come in. Come to the back," and he will guide you to the back, like holding the beads aside for the curtains, and kind of gestures towards the room you guys met in, like last time you guys were there. And I think that's probably a good place to end it.
Yep. In the meantime, I'm going to be, after mending and resting and whatnot, I'm casting 2 spells.
Okay.
Detect Magic
Mm-hmm.
and Identify.
Okay, so yes, and I think you already know what you got.
Yes.
So as you get your bag of holding there.
Bag of holding.
And during the time between now and next session, we will say Sal will get the time he needs to work on Carbone.
Essentially, if I can get a long rest,
Yeah.
I get my spells back, and I can heal. I bring Carbone back.
Yeah. So you will get that time, and Assad will provide you with, whatever he'll bring some of the like metal scraps or whatever he thinks that you might request in order to aid you in repairing it. And over the next 8 hours of time, you're busily working, bringing Carbone back up to full fighting force.
Was the gold circle pin magical?
It was not.
Okay. Can I appraise that?
Sure. Yeah. So on one hand, it's a good chunk of gold. So you'd probably think gold alone is probably worth about 20 or 30 gold. On the other hand, you are familiar with items and their value on the market. So though you're not exactly sure what this is, it was on a skeleton that had been sitting in there enough for like almost everything to kind of like rot away. So you figure it's probably pretty old. And old stuff has some value. So you think to the right person, this might be worth more. Maybe more in the like 50 gold range if you're kind of like general estimate of other things you've sold like this would be.
Okay. Okay.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you for suffering through that. And I got a little worried there as my hound was doing lots of damage to you guys, and you guys didn't have as much backup as I was planning on you having, but you did well. You snuck through just barely. It's a good thing I didn't recharge that breath weapon. I looked down at it and I was like, it does 66 points of damage, huh? All right.
I had 7 hit points left.
I was so glad everyone passed their. I mean, it's not a super high dexterity saving throw, but I was so glad that you all passed because I was like, okay, I don't feel as bad. But yeah, so anyways, thank you for anyone who ends up watching this. Thank you two for joining me. Paul will have to talk more about something you may find. But for now, that's where we're going to end it. Thank you, everyone, and good night.